Hi, everybody. I'm Pratibha Agarwal. I am an immigration attorney. I'm based right outside of Washington, D.C., in Arlington, Virginia. Our clients, however, are all throughout the United States. Some of them are also international, so you can work with our firm. We only practice immigration law. We don't do anything other than immigration law, but you're welcome to work with our firm no matter where in the world you are. We have clients worldwide. Thank you for joining us. If you're just joining us, we're streaming live on both TikTok and on Facebook. Our handle is at Agarwal Immigration on both. So feel free to follow us on TikTok, like us on Facebook, and we will definitely be keeping you up to date on anything new that's going on in immigration, but also answering your immigration questions. So that is what I am doing here. So if you're just joining me, my name again is Pratibha Agarwal. I'm an immigration attorney. I represent clients all throughout the United States, and we do all types of immigration cases. So if you would like to contact us and get more information about your specific case, call us for a consultation, 703-348-1663. You can also find us on Facebook and on TikTok and schedule through there as well. So if you have immigration questions, go ahead and put them in here. Just a note that none of this is confidential, right? Because we're streaming with multiple people on multiple platforms. So anything that you tell me obviously does not create an attorney-client relationship, and is not confidential. But call us if you want specific information about your case. So go ahead and drop your questions in. I'm going to get started with our question for today. So for our lives, we have been kind of doing questions of the day. So questions that have come up often, questions that come up in our consultations with our clients, and sometimes questions that we don't get to on the live. Okay, so feel free to go ahead and type your questions in, and I will go ahead and answer them best as I can. Again, nothing is creating an attorney-client relationship, or it is not confidential, because we have many people viewing at the same time. All right, great. Well, thank you again for joining me, and let's get on with our question for the day, which is if I have a parent who is a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, and they don't want to sponsor me for a green card, what can I do? Do I have options, right? Do I need my parent to sponsor me for the green card, to be willing to sponsor me for the green card? If I live in the United States, I don't have papers, and I need my parents to sponsor me for that green card. Okay, so this is a situation that many people are going to say that is unlikely to happen, right? Obviously, the parents want the best for their children. That is unlikely to happen, is what a lot of people will say. Right. But again, the question is, this is a situation where the parent is either a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, and they do not want to sponsor their minor child, so child under 21, child potentially even just under 25. So this child has options. This person has options. Their option is to apply for a green card on their own, and they qualify if they can then prove, meaning it's through their own statement about their experiences, their own truthful statement about their experiences, that they're a victim of abuse. So you can be as old as 25. If you have a parent who is a U.S. citizen or a green card holder, and is not sponsoring you for that green card, you might still be eligible to apply on your own without the help of your parents. Okay, and what does that get you? That gets you work authorization, right? So and a social security number, many people don't even have social security numbers. So that would get you work authorization, a social security number. The work authorization, social security will come about 6 to 8 months, green card in about 2 to 2.5 years. Again, this is for people with parents who are U.S. citizens or green card holders that are not sponsoring, that are refusing to sponsor the child. So the child has to be a victim of abuse. There has to be some kind of abuse, not necessarily physical. It could be emotional. It could be verbal. But they do have options in being able to apply for a green card on their own without their parent. Okay. So if you know people in this situation, we actually have multiple clients in this situation, and usually the parents are divorced, right? The mom or the dad they might be divorced, or they might be separated. And one of the parents, the abusive parent, is the U.S. citizen or green card holder, and the other parent is now trying to help their child gain status. Okay. That is kind of how we see it in our practice. If you're interested, if you know anyone in this situation, if you're interested in just finding out more about applying for a green card, call us. We're at 703-348-1663. I have a bunch of questions popping in here, so let me say hello to you guys. Thanks for joining. Hi, Radali. Sorry, the sun is kind of in my face here, guys. I'm in a new office. I'm just getting acquainted here. Okay. Radali says, my son was born here. When can I get my green card if he's 21? If he's 21 and he's born here, he might be eligible to sponsor you. He might be eligible to sponsor you, meaning, anyone who's a U.S. citizen who's 21 or over, they can sponsor their parents. They can sponsor their spouse. If they have children, they can sponsor their children. And they can even sponsor siblings. So there are many people that can be sponsored when you're a U.S. citizen who's 21 or over. Okay, call us if you would like to have a consultation. He can do it right now. You have to be eligible to what they call adjust your status. You have to be eligible to get that green card. So not everybody is. It depends on the way you entered. It depends on your experiences. So you should call us to make sure that we can review your case and your situation to make sure that you are eligible to receive that green card, even though your son technically can sponsor you. Okay, Radali? Call us at 703-348-1663. Empress is asking, how long after my work permit will they schedule you for an interview for a marriage-based U.S. citizenship? Anywhere between 6 months to a year, right? So you might get your work permit. So let's walk through that process. Actually, that's one of the questions that came up earlier. That's one of the questions that came up earlier. How long, what is this process? What is the process for adjustment of status? Meaning, how do you get a green card if you're in the U.S.? What is that process? So usually you apply for your green card. It depends in different ways, right? So let's say it's marriage based, or let's say it's family based. Your parents are sponsoring you, or you're sponsoring your parents. Or you're sponsoring a spouse. So these are just examples. And the person that you're sponsoring is in the United States already. So number one, they will have had to have entered legally to do the normal process. There are different ways to do it if you don't have kind of the normal, if you don't have the requirements for kind of the standard green card process. There are different ways to do it. So essentially, you have to have a visa, or you have to have entered legally with either a visa. Most of the time, it's a visa. Sometimes there's other options, but we won't get into that right now. You have to have that relationship that allows sponsorship. Once all of that is taken care of, you apply. You will get a receipt notice in about a month, which will tell you how that case number with the government. It will then go into your fingerprint appointment. You'll have a fingerprint appointment so they can run a background check on you. And then you will receive work authorization and travel authorization if you applied for that in the beginning. Okay? And then an interview will be scheduled. And after that, hopefully you'll be approved and the green card will be sent to you in the mail. So that's kind of the process for a green card. It sounds simple, but there are a lot of requirements, and you should make sure that everyone is eligible, the person sponsoring as well as the person getting that green card, to move through that process. Because you know what? If you apply and you don't qualify for some reason, or you needed some additional document, you wouldn't necessarily get your money back if it was denied. Okay, so it's best to have maybe even at minimum a consultation with an attorney to make sure everything is smooth before you spend that almost $2,000 to apply for a green card with the government. Okay? Call us for consultation. We're at 703-348-1663. And your question, Empress, your question exactly was, how long after the work permit will they schedule an interview? It can be anywhere from between 6 months to a year. All right? According to now time. Obviously, with COVID, the Delta variant, all of this could vary later. Okay, call us if you need us. We're at 703-348-1663. Nilan is saying, how long does it take to bring my spouse from Bangladesh? I'm a U.S. citizen. Right? How long does it take to go through that process to bring your spouse from abroad if you're a U.S. citizen? So let me walk you through that process as well. So the whole thing, to answer your question, the entire thing takes over 2 years. I want to say it's taking between 2 to 2.5 years for our clients from all across the world. So not necessarily Bangladesh, but really from all across the world. It is delayed because of the coronavirus. It is taking a bit of time. Okay, so the process here, let me walk you through it. So the process here is essentially you apply for a green card in the U.S. The process starts in the U.S. and the U.S. citizen shows their status as a U.S. citizen, and then they also have to show that they're married to or whatever the family-based relationship is. They show their relationship and their own status as a U.S. citizen. Okay, that's the first thing that happens. That happens in the US, that has to be decided here in the US. Once that's decided, the case gets transferred over to the National Visa Center. It gets transferred over to the National Visa Center, and then the National Visa Center collects a whole bunch of documents. So once all of that is collected, everything is submitted, then the case gets transferred over to the embassy where the person that you're sponsoring is, where they live. The embassy will then schedule for an interview. The person that is being sponsored has to get a medical checkup and bring some original documents. Hopefully everything goes well at the interview. They get approved and they will be stamped in their passport for a green card. So they will enter as green card holders. Okay? It's all it sounds a little bit complicated. There's multiple offices involved, multiple agencies involved, so it can be a little bit complicated, but we can make it easy for you. Call our office. We're at 703-348-1663. All right, great, Tom Barton. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Well, thanks so much for all your questions today, guys. It was so nice to see so many of you. I will be available next week if you would like to reach us. Again, my name is Pratibha Agarwal. We only practice immigration law. We do not do anything other than immigration law, but we can help you no matter where in the U.S. you are located. Would love to chat with you more about your immigration case, and I'll be on here again if you want to pop up and ask that one question. Okay. All right. Well, good to see everyone. Thanks so much. I will see you soon. Bye.